that time of the year when the grass looks greener and the air glows with optimism. Baseball returns, and the ball players are sharpening their skills. The promise of greatness is only a swing away, and new beginnings are what every baseball fan yearns to see. Padres spring training baseball begins tonight. Cactus League action from the Valley of the Sun with its signature saguaro as we welcome you to the Peoria Complex, northwest of downtown Phoenix. Spring home of the Padres. 23rd year for San Diego here in Peoria, and tonight they entertain the World Series champion Kansas City Royals. Only a month away from opening day at Petco against the Dodgers. Mark Grant, Dick Enberg, we're so pleased that you've joined us tonight. And for this man, 4 seasons he pitched for the Padres. Now his 21st year behind the microphone, 25 years. Hey, the gift, the 25-year gift, it's in the mail.
I appreciate that. It's been a great ride all through and through, and especially with you, Dick. Now year 7, you and I in the booth, it's going to be a fun year.
Well, you start almost any baseball season talking about the foundation of a team, and you go right to the starting rotation. The top 3 pretty well set for the Padres. Tyson Ross has been named the opening starter against the Dodgers. Then he'll be followed by James Shields and Andrew Kastner. Then what happens?
Well, Colin Ray is one 25-year-old who had some big league experience last year. It was an exciting time for the kid from Cascade, Iowa. And now he's got a chance to crack a big league rotation. 2-2 record. But the one thing that sticks out for me, Dick, is that he's got quality pitches that have gotten better, bigger, and stronger for Colin Ray. He's at 20 pounds. This guy realizes that he can pitch at the big league level. He had some success last year. He's got that taste in his mouth. Now he comes to spring training knowing what it's like to pitch at the big leagues. And it was hugs and kisses for the Ray family last year. Love to see that. Hopefully a lot more of that this year for Colin Ray as he hopefully cracks that rotation.
Yeah, it's going to be a very competitive year for that. 2 spots in the rotation and in the bullpen. And we're going to introduce you to the newest member of our Fox Sports San Diego team. She has more on Colin Ray when we come back. Perfect night for baseball in Peoria. Kansas City well represented in a big crowd tonight. They're riding that cloud of royal blue after winning the World Series title last fall. And we now warmly welcome the newest member of our Fox Sports San Diego team. She comes to us from the Washington Nationals and New York Mets. Here's Julie Alexandria. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Pleasure to be here with you guys. And as you mentioned before, Colin Ray is one of those young arms vying for a spot in the rotation. And he showed up to spring training ready to go. He lost 12 pounds during the offseason, packed on a solid 20 in muscle. And here's what he had to say about what making one of those spots would mean to him.
The biggest thing I can do is just go out there and, do my best every day and not really worry about or think about if I'm going to get that spot. Whatever happens in the end happens, but obviously it would mean a lot if I got that one of those spots. Going forward, helping the team out any way I can.
Well, he certainly has some stiff competition and a long road ahead. There are plenty of games to be played here in spring training. And as manager Andy Green said, all the spots are open. Everything's up for consideration. There is much more Padres baseball coming your way after this.
Peoria, Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Harrah's, your first resort for fun. By Kaiser Permanente, Thrive, and by Petco. What we feed them matters. What a glorious night. I mean, the nights in the desert, you just can't beat them.
I love the desert. I love the desert in the spring. I love baseball, and I know a lot of you Padre fans watching in San Diego and throughout the country love it as well. So welcome. It's good to see you, Professor.
Yeah, great to get going here. Only 194 more left,
That's right.
And Andy Green, the new skipper of the Padres, 38 years young, star at the University of Kentucky, was a high school valedictorian, academic All-America at Kentucky, a long-range shot to make the majors. He did get there. He was a 24th round pick out of Kentucky, and he has impressed everyone, coaches, players, media, articulate, energetic. He's got this team on its toes, and so far everything looks terrific.
He's got an agenda. He has a plan. Hey, what guy comes in for an interview and says, if I'm manager, the 100 days, the first 100 days, this is how we're going to go about our business. Changing the culture in that clubhouse, hoping that the players have to be coachable, guys taking the reins as far as being leaders on this ball club. So it might start with Will Myers at first base as he gets ready to patrol first base in this Cactus League action.
Yeah, and a recurring theme from Manager Green is that to his players, it's your team. You have ownership of that team. That's San Diego in the front of your jersey. If you believe in it, you own it. So let's go to work on that.
The manager puts players in position to be successful. Hopefully that works out. But you're right, Dick. It takes the guys on the roster to call each other out. And you know what? There's not a problem with that. If you're able to be called out, you can dish it out to the other guys and just have the respect of the other players doing that as well. So Darren Balsley on the right, best pitching coach in all Major League Baseball, alongside new skipper Andy Green. Yeah.
Darren Balsley in his 14th season as the pitching coach. Matt Kemp is in the lineup as the Padres take the field. And here's the Kansas City Royals lineup. It is absent some of their all-stars that we all watched and marveled in the World Series. Here they go. Ramon Torres at shortstop. Alex Gordon, an all-star in left field. Lorenzo Cain, a brilliant center fielder and hit .307 last year. Kendrys Morales won the Silver Slugger in the American League as the DH. Paolo Orlando in right field. Cheslor Cuthbert at third base. Balbino Fuenmayor is at first base. We're going to have fun with him. Whit Merrifield is at second, and Drew Butera, the veteran catcher, will hit ninth.
Well, we talked about him in our pregame show, and he's worth talking about again. A big, tall right-hander, 25-year-old. He's going to be 26 on July 1st. Colin Ray, he's got the two-seam, the four-seam. And one thing that stuck out last year, Dick, was his cut fastball and that curveball. And see the split change? Hideo Nomo, newly added to the staff here in spring training, helped him with that grip. He gained 20 pounds. Julie told us about that. He's got great command, according to Darren Balsley, the pitching coach. So he's well on his way. He's not a kid anymore. He looks like a big league pitcher, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was long and lean last year. He's really filled out a lot of that weight gain, muscle gain in the legs. He says he feels he has more power, especially on the fastball. Here is the Padre defense behind him. In the outfield, Manny Margot, regarded as the top prospect in the system, acquired from Boston in the Kimbrel trade. Then Melvin Upton in center, Matt Kemp in right. Around the horn, Solarte Amarista. Ashwahe at second base. He also came over from Boston. Myers at first, and Derek Norris will handle the offerings of the 25-year-old Ray.
And that's one thing, Dick, that Andy Green talked about in spring training. We got to button up the defense. Let's face it. Last year, 92 errors. They were 10th in the National League. Got to help out that pitching staff. Tupperware tight, hopefully, for the Padres this year.
That green here at the Peoria field, just immaculate. Colors the same. We're set to go. First telecast of the season, and Ray delivers a strike on the outside corner. 79 degrees at the first pitch here in Peoria tonight. It's been a very warm winter in Arizona. It usually is, but more than normal. They didn't have a single drop of rain in February, and they had their first 90-degree day in February 2 weeks before in history. So
and that plays on the conditions for the players. The ground is going to be hard, sometimes like playing in a parking lot here in Arizona.
Torres fouls off another. He's 23 from the Dominican Republic. 6 years in the minors, hitting .270 in his minor league career. And a ball and 2 strikes with Gordon and Cain to follow.
You know, these World Series champion Kansas City Royals, Dick, boy, they sure showed last year that it just wasn't one certain player on their lineup, right? It was collective.
And something they proudly note in their media guide and information is the fact that they led the world in scoring with 2 outs. And that tells you a lot about a team. You know, that they worked. Well, we saw it in the playoffs in the World Series, how they just with 2 outs, they managed to come from behind time and time again.
Drove pitchers nuts. Put together good at-bats.
Slow roller towards second. Schwa Hay makes the play underhanded for the first out.
You know, everybody has a crystal ball. I know you have one, and you look at it all the time. You tell me great things that
take it on the road.
And you're Nostradamus. But how about this? The pundits last year, before the season started, they picked the Kansas City Royals to have 72 wins. Well, Ned Yost looked at that and laughed at it. they carried home the hardware in the fall. 72 they predicted.
Only missed by 23.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You never know at the start of the season, but all those #1 draft picks and all the young players that they've been culturing in their system, all coming to maturity at the same time, like a fine wine. And the Moose and Hosmer and Gordon and Kane. I mean, the team is pretty well set.
Yeah. A lot had to do with that kid right there standing in the batter's box, Alex Gordon, Gold Glove outfielder, good presence in the clubhouse.
All-star each of the last 3 years. University of Nebraska star. Went to high school in Lincoln. Hit .271 on the season with 13 homers. But he also missed a good chunk of games because of a groin injury, but was back for the playoffs and the World Series finale. High drive deep to right center field. Upton on his horse and makes the catch. And off the bat, that looked like it had a chance to go all the way, but died in the night air.
I thought that ball was going to rattle up against the fence. Off the bat, it really didn't have that good, clean, crisp sound. It kind of got in on him a little bit. But watch, look at where Melvin Upton Jr. is playing. He's playing on the shortstop side of second base. He sprints over there, pulls the cord, pulls the parachute, and makes it look easy. I tell you what, that's what pitching staffs love, is a guy who can cover some ground like that.
Even the man at the plate, Lorenzo Cain, who can cover a ton of ground in center field, had to raise an eyebrow at that catch. A nice pursuit of that drive off the bat of Gordon. Here's Cain, all-star last year. He finished 3rd in the American League most valuable player race. Hit .307, 5th best in the junior circuit.
Well, right out of the get-go, Colin Ray, 2 quick outs, making some good pitches, flipping some curveballs up there. One thing to notice, the velocity. He can get up about 95. He's going to be consistent like 91, 94. But that curveball, he's got a darn good curveball. Traditional 12 to 6er, old school.
2 strikes to Cain. Did he go? Waved off by first base umpire Doug Eddings.
Hey, that's a good pitch. 0-2. Off the plate just a little bit. And we always talk about quality strikes. You also have to throw quality balls too, off the plate like that last one.
Sharply struck, but wide of third. Kendrys Morales, the DH, on deck for the Royals, who are looking for their first win of the spring, dropping their first 2 games, and they were whitewashed yesterday by Texas, 10-0. There's Morales, lifetime DH.
And the Royals are winless in Cactus League action as well. I like that pitch. I like it a lot. Skip some rope, move some feet, go right for that belt buckle. And where does it start? Here in spring training. Watch the glove of Norrie. Hey, bring it in a little bit more. Why not? Those hitters are going to dive on the outside part of the plate.
Those corners belong to the pitcher as well. And the 2-2. And he slides one outside.
And then he offers the cutter away. Might see a lot more pitching inside this year. Why not? You don't want those hitters to get comfortable.
Here's a protective swing. The count remains full. Boy, the more you saw of Cain, and of course we don't see all the American League players as frequently. He is a gamer, both with the bat and the glove. Ground ball back to Ray. And a 1-2-3 first inning for Colin Ray. Will Myers will hit third as the Padres come to back in the home half of the first inning. features each year. You can see the 2 new auxiliary scoreboards above our location here in the press box level. Let's check the Padres starting lineup tonight for Andy Green. Melvin Upton Jr. to lead it off. Manny Margot. We'll get a chance to see the 21-year-old. Great future ahead for him. Will Myers bats third, then Matt Kemp in the cleanup spot. Jan Solarte, the quiet man who delivered well last year, hits fifth. Catcher Derek Norris in the 6th slot. Veteran Skip Schumacher trying to make the roster this year is the DH. Carlos Asuaje at second base and Alexi Amarista at shortstop.
And on the mound for the Royals, right-hander Yordano Ventura. This guy's got a power arm. See his numbers from last year, 13-8. High ERA over 4. This guy's got a power arm. Great stuff. The fastball, 94-98. He's got a 2-seamer. Power curve. Sometimes the change can come in a little bit too hot.
Melvin Upton Jr. hit .259 about half a season after he came back from the injury in spring training. Had 5 home runs. And the Padres hoping it'll be the Melvin Upton who back in 2007 hit .300 with 24 home runs for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, such a key for Melvin Upton Jr. and also Matt Kemp. Get those 2 guys going. Early and often.
Of course, brother Justin away from the Padres to the Tigers in Detroit. 1-2. You mentioned that Yordano Ventura last year with a solid season. ERA a little high over 4, but the way he finished after the All-Star game is what really brought raves from KC fans. Foul back. He was 9-2 after the break with a 3.56.
Not how you start, it's how you finish, right? And perfect timing as well going into the postseason. He's got the good fastball. Hopefully the Padre hitters can turn that fastball around.
Product of the Dominican Republic. He's not a big guy, 6 feet, under 200 pounds. Generates a tremendous fastball. That ball looped into left field and grabbed by Gordon for the first out. Check on the Kansas City defense tonight. In the outfield, Gordon in left with Lorenzo Cain in center and Paolo Orlando in right field. Around the horn, Cuthbert, Torres, Merrifield, and Fuenmayor, and Butera behind the plate for Ventura. Ned Yost, the winningest manager in Kansas City history, leaving some of his all-stars at home for tonight's action, and giving a chance for the youngsters in the organization a chance to impress. There's Ned. Soft fly ball just back of second base, and Merrifield grabs the second out. Manny Margot jammed. 2 outs.
Well, the defense was one of the things that went really well for the Royals last year. They were known for their defense. They can catch the ball. Catch the ball with the best of them.
Will Myers looking for a healthy 2016. In the last 3 years, he's not played more than 88 major league games because of a variety of injuries. And, of course, the wrist injury a season ago limited him to only 60 games. And in those 60 games, he had .253, showed his power, 8 home runs.
You know how we talk about magic numbers, right, Dick? Come September time. How about a magic number for Will Myers as Matt Kemp, magic number 27, waits on deck? How about 600? We talk about it quite a bit in the offseason. Nice to see Will Myers get 600 at-bats this season. That means he's going to be healthy.
Another strike, 1-2. And with 600 at bats, you could project he's going to hit 20-25 home runs.
Hopefully that's the case. You saw him kind of big and strong. Andy Green's locked in.
And a swing and a miss. First strikeout for Ventura. Each pitcher, Colin Ray and Yordano Ventura, retire the side in order. game. Do we change our?
Not yet.
Not yet. Another week after this.
Changing the clocks?
Yeah.
It's at the end of March.
I
can double check on that.
I think someone said that we might finally be on the same time. Currently, Arizona, which does not leave daylight saving time, so we're an hour ahead of San Diego time. That's why we're on the air at 6 o'clock at home. Kendrick Morales. What a year as a DH. 290 Silver Slugger numbers, 22 homers and 106 runs batted in. Slaps that foul. After the All-Star break, knocked in 53 runs.
Yeah, had a total of 106. Anytime you go over the century mark, that is doing something right. Feeling very comfortable at the plate, healthy, seeing the ball extremely well.
Swing, a late swing and a miss, and Ray logs his first strikeout.
Colin Ray going with the backdoor cutter. Hey, I know it's spring training, I know it's Peoria, but hey, you make a good quality pitch. Derek Norris, glove outside, that little cutter, and it's the excuse me swing. When do I start? Point of no return? No chance. Bad looking hack.
Here's Paolo Orlando. Saw some action last year. 30-year-old, born in Brazil. And the breaking ball low. Hit 241. Major league debut a year ago. 7 home runs. Might make the team as the 5th outfielder.
Colin Ray's got the sneaky fast fastball working this evening.
Ground ball right side. Suaje takes care of the second out here in the second.
Suaje, muy suave at second base.
Interesting young man. His parents are from Cuba, but he was born in the United States. The University of Miami. His parents met as students at Southern Illinois University.
Salukis.
Both Cubans, but married there.
Very nice.
Foreign students. Very sharp young guy, and they like his glove. Can he hit enough? Chesler Cuthbert steps in.
I don't care what you say. That's a tough one to say.
5 times in a row.
Chesler Cuthbert.
You're out of here. You get Cuthberted, huh? You saw his Omaha numbers, 11 home runs. Came up to the big club for a cup of coffee in September. 2-1. Well, the Royals gave an indication of a strong season in spring training last year. They had one of the better records in all of baseball. Shot to left field. One hop single out to left fielder Margot, and Cuthbert has the first base hit of the night.
Well, it's a fastball count, and especially in spring training, that's what the hitters are really going to be locked into. Good extension, big stride, and there goes the no-hitter.
Rusty Kuntz there giving Kuntz getting his runner some information as Balbino Fuenmayor steps up, 26-year-old. Yeah, Rusty, and long-time lifer in this game. He was the AA Player of the Year at Northwest Arkansas. And there's more coming in the Kansas City organization.
He is a grip it and rip it type of hitter. Fuenmayor. Good kid, too. He's the kind of kid that you want to root for. Very likable.
26 from Venezuela. And a ball and a strike. Yeah, his numbers were outstanding in Double-A. 354 with 15 homers. Another shot up the middle, base hit. Holding at second, Orlando, and the Royals with 2 outs, and that was their MO last year. They did as much damage as any team in baseball with 2 away, and that's what they're trying to underline here in the second inning tonight.
So the last 2 hits back-to-back. Cuthbert and now Fuenmayor, fastballs. Fastballs catching too much of the plate, staying on it nicely. And Fuenmayor, you know, we talk about using the big part of the field. Mark Sweeney loves talking about right center field, left center field. He took that one to the second base side of second base.
And that'll bring up Whit Merrifield playing second base tonight. He's 27 years of age. At Omaha last year, hit .265, as you can see. Product of the University of South Carolina. In fact, he was on that Gamecock's team that won the College World Series 6 years ago. 2 on, 2 out.
You know, sometimes in spring training, I've been a firm believer of, you know, it's nice to have the 1, 2, 3 innings. You know, whether you're going to go 2 or 3 innings. Colin is scheduled to go 2 innings or 40 pitches, whatever comes first. But, you know, getting a little jam like this, it makes some good pitches out of the stretch with runners in scoring position. That's paint right there. Didn't get the call. Good downward action also from the right-hander.
Number 9 hitter Drew Butera, the veteran catcher, on deck. Royals with runners at first and second. Way outside and low, and the count to 3-0. Started innocently enough here in the second with a strikeout of Morales, and Orlando bounced out. But then Cuthbert and Fuenmayor with solid singles. That's right down the middle. Right down Bell Road.
There you go. I get a good feeling in my heart when I make that turn onto Bell Road, come into the desert, Peoria, Arizona, for Padre baseball. Okay, 3-1, fastball count. What's he going to mix in here?
And the bases are loaded. That brings up Drew Butera, the catcher. First walk from Ray.
You know, that's the one thing that any pitcher will know. If you're a young pitcher with a little bit of big league time coming into this year, the big league hitters, they're going to spit on that 3-1 pitch that's up and out of the zone. Might be a different story in the minor leagues. You get some more free swingers down there, but be more discipline at the big league level.
Butera hitting just 196 in 45 game appearances last year for the world champs. Takes a breaking ball in there.
Yeah, look at that. What's that? Bases loaded, 2 outs, and he drops the yellow hammer on it. First pitch curveball for a strike. That's telling you something. You have to do that at the big league level.
Low and away, 1-1. Butera, well-traveled catcher. Minnesota 3 years, the Dodgers for 3. Kansas City last year, and he has a chance to win the backup job with the Royals this year. Out of play.
I'd like to come back in another life and be a backup catcher at the big league level for about 16 years, right? How much fun would that be?
Well, almost as much fun as the backup quarterback in the NFL. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you can play a long time if you accept your role and you maybe catch once or twice a week if that's the case. You call a good game, a good receiver, you block balls well, you can throw decent.
1-2 coming up, and that's in there. Strike 3. Ray with a strikeout, and the Royals leave the bases loaded. Now, sad news today. We lost a giant voice in sportscasting, a very close friend and colleague. He wrote the encyclopedia of tennis. The encyclopedia. The man was the encyclopedia of tennis. Bud Collins, game, set, match. Dead at 86. A man that will be sorely missed. Out of a bases loaded jam, we go to the bottom of the second inning. Middle of the order for the Padres: Kemp, Solarte, and Norris against Ventura. Matt Kemp, sensational second half of last year, and the Padres hoping he'll just pick right up on that pace that sent him to 22 homers and 100 runs batted, and still hard to believe that he had only one home run April and May combined last year.
That is incredible. Talk about a guy getting locked in. And you know what? He kept the same pace all along, didn't he, as far as his attitude and everything? Yeah. Took it upon himself, was accountable, saying I need to get it going. I need to kick it in gear.
All-Star a couple of times, 2 Silver Slugger awards, 2 Gold Gloves. I mean, he's been one of the best players in baseball. And the Padres hoping he can have a banner season and lead this team. Derek Norris there with manager Andy Green. You're right. Here it is, the third exhibition game, and Green already has his playoff face on.
Oh, yeah. You know, it was a 7:10 start tonight, right? 7:05. Andy Green was at the ball yard about 12:30 today. Getting everything in order, lined up for tonight's game.
That's just off the plate, and a full count to Kemp. No shift employed by Kansas City. We're going to see a lot of that. Andy Green and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Green was in charge of that, third base coach with the D-backs last year. And he has promised not only plenty of shifts, but also offense against the shift. It's going to be fun to follow. Out of play.
You see the reaction from Matt after that pitch. It was an elevated fastball, and that's the pitch that pitchers, they're going to miss once in a while, especially in spring training, and the hitters want to crush.
Yeah, the first couple of weeks belong to the pitchers.
I believe that, yep.
And they get a head start on the hitters, and then about mid-March we'll see a change. There's a line drive to right. It is a fair ball just on the line and touched by a fan. That'll be a ground rule double for Matt Kemp. He measured that one perfectly down the right field line. First Padre hit, and a chance to break into the lead here in the second.
Yeah, who says you have to swing hard for a double? Just nice and easy. He knows that Ventura's got a live fastball. It's a running fastball. He wants it down and away. Kind of leaks down and in a little bit. And he just fights it off.
Just inside the line. And that gives Solarte a chance to knock in a run. And here this last year, just very quietly contributed strongly to this team. He hit .270. He had 14 homers, 63 runs batted in, 33 doubles, but no publicity. You know, he just quietly got the job done. A switch hitter and the stronger side, the left side.
The abbreviated leg kick, a slide step. Why? I'm not sure. Matt Kemp probably isn't going to be trying to pilfer third base by any means.
Certainly not with no one out.
Right. Well, maybe he's working on something. It is spring training after all.
What did you work on in spring training?
I tried to throw this thing called a strike.
No way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it was really hard during the course of my career. But, you know, just getting the feel for all my pitches. Going out there and getting a good workout, obviously, but
lifted high on the infield. Second baseman Merrifield waits for it to come out of the night, and there's one away. Max Michalak, our producer, able to go through the files. Well,
wow.
That brings back some memories. I think that was my first year at Wimbledon, 1979, and Bud coached me up. I mean, he was a mentor to anyone who showed any affection at all for the sport of tennis. He couldn't do enough for you, and he really saved my job that first year. You know, a lot of us don't know the difference off the top of a rally and a whatever.
Well, I'll tell you what, being a sports fan growing up, I watched a lot of different sports: basketball, baseball, football, and I loved the Jimmy Connors matches. I loved Bjorn Borg. I loved John McEnroe. And to listen to you, I loved listening to you and Bud. I loved color analysts like Bud, John Madden, Tony Kubek, growing up as a kid. Those were my guys.
Yeah, he was a true character, and yet a total different personality off the microphone than the one on. You know, he was flamboyant and those wild trousers of his, and a statement he liked to be controversial. But then in a social situation, he laughed the loudest. He listened to everyone else. You couldn't come up with a subject that everyone enjoyed his comments because he was so well read. I mean, do the Sunday New York Times puzzle. They go. I said, did you write the Sunday puzzle? I mean, he was so incredibly bright and quick and had a great sense of humor. You never saw him frowning. He always had a smile. Ground ball by Norris on 1/2 to third. Cuthbert across for the second out. And Kemp has to hold at second.
So he really was the encyclopedia, huh, when it came to tennis? He not only putting it to paper, but also he was the guy.
And not only in tennis was him. He started by writing for the Boston Globe. He covered baseball. He covered Muhammad Ali in his glory days when he was still Cassius Clay, and his heavyweight championships. He was very in tune politically. He cared about people. I mean, I've only used this to one other man. And it was John Wooden, a man of greatness and goodness. And that's what Bud Collins was.
Perfect.
A man of greatness and goodness. And there isn't anyone watching tonight around this country that met him once that feels very sad that we've lost him. Skip Schumacher. It'd be nice for him to hit a little backhand line drive down the line here for a winner here.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, absolutely. Good call. In honor of Bud?
Yeah,
you betcha.
Good, useful player through his career, Schumacher. He can play every position.
And, you know, being with the Redbirds all those years, too, where winning was a perennial thing, I think that goes a long way when you acquire a player like Schumacher. And you know what Andy Green said in his presser today? He's not afraid to call out guys, which I like.
Yeah.
Right? Call out the veteran guys because, Skip, if he does something wrong, which probably is not going to happen, but if somebody lights him up and says, hey, let's shake it up a little bit, he respects that, so he can take it and he can give it. And that's good to have, I think.
Now, there's value on a veteran player like that. 242 hitter at Cincinnati a year ago. 3-1. And he takes strike two. Played his college ball up at Goleta at University of California, Santa Barbara. high school in Aliso Viejo. So he's back close to home.
He's a gaucho, right? Santa Barbara?
Absolutely, you bet. Full count, 2 outs, runner at second. Matt Kemp, no score, second inning. Ground ball sharply, but right to the third baseman, Cuthbert. He waits for Kemp, and then a late throw, and the call is out at first base. Schumacher almost beating that out. So after 2 here in Peoria, no score. Great weather and a chance to watch the Padres and Royals do some preseason work. New pitcher for the Padres is Carlos Villanueva, acquired in the offseason, was with the St. Louis Cardinals a year ago. Veteran from Santiago, Dominican Republic, now 32 years of age. He had his career best ERA with the Birds last year, 2.95.
Yeah, he's had a nice career, Carlos Villanueva, and he's pretty much Mr. Everything. He's got good command. He can be a swing guy. He can start. He can work out of the bullpen. And Andy Green, the manager for the Padres, said this morning that, hey, anybody, the number 4 and 5 spot, if you've got some starting experience, yeah, it's open. It's open for anybody, and Carlos Villanueva may be one of those guys in the hunt for one of those spots.
And he faces the top of the order, Torres, Gordon, and Kane. Shortstop grounded out his first time.
Not a hard thrower. He relies on location. He's only going to touch like 88 to 90.
Through the swing of Torres, 0-2. Villanueva, second half of 2014 was with the Cubs and pitched very well, and then a good season with the Cardinals. Padres hope that that's a pattern that is going to continue this year, and especially tough, surprisingly, as a right-handed pitcher against left-handed hitters. Hit only 183 against him last year.
I think that breaking ball is a big reason for that, the off-speed pitch. Usually a good changeup will counter against a left-handed hitter going down and away.
Fly ball, center field. Upton able to sprint in and make the catch.
You know, I have noticed already, Mr. Enberg, in this short time we've watched this Cactus League game, but Colin Ray pitched inside. Threw some pitches inside. Villanueva, some pitches inside as well. So that's a good sign.
I think the pattern throughout baseball has been, because the umpires are very delicate about how close you can come off the plate to the hitter. But as you know, hey, you got to make your living in there.
Absolutely.
Alex Gordon, the all-star, fly deep to center, right center. Upton chased it down near the warning track and right.
Carlos will probably go 2 innings or 40 pitches, whatever comes first, just like Colin Ray did. Good workout for the veteran right-hander.
Shot to center. Upton is there. 2 away. Well, Gordon has hit the ball hard twice for outs. Well, it's a dog night here in Peoria, I guess. Julie Alexandria is on the case.
What could be better than bringing your pup to the ballpark? Well, tonight is the Bow Wow Powwow, as they call it, at the Peoria Sports Complex. And I'm here with Heidi, who is a rescue. And dogs were charged a separate admission here, and which was $5 per dog. And 100% of the proceeds go to help the Humane Society of Arizona. So it all goes for a good cause.
Oh,
like
who's a good boy?
Yeah, she's got a friend there.
Yeah, a lot of canines out there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm a big believer there, Julie. If you can adopt a pet, a dog, a cat, whatever, hey, do it. Show them some love.
Absolutely.
Kane fouls that off. 2 away, no one on here in the top of the 3rd. He is out on a comebacker in the first inning. Well, tip of the Padre cap, one of our own in San Diego County won the best of show at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
How about that? A hubba hubba.
Yeah. Who was it?
California Journey, a German short-haired pointer. Now that's a real bow wow right there.
There you go. Congratulations. Yeah.
I think Temecula from Temecula. The 2-1 pitch. Off speed, didn't quite catch a part of the corner. Right field in the alley. Kempover can't get there. Rattles the boards. Coasting into second, Kane with a 2-base hit.
That's a prime example of a big league hitter letting the ball come to him and not over swinging. As we take a look at this pitch from Villanueva, well, Lorenzo Cain just lets it travel and nice and easy swing. And see how far back he hits that ball in the zone and takes it the opposite way. Picture perfect right there.
He did plenty of that throughout the 2015 season. Here's Kendrys Morales. He struck out swinging the first time. Slow line drive. Right field, fair ball. That'll get Kane home. Morales on his way to second, having trouble digging it out, Kemp, but Morales will settle for a double, and the Royals take a 1-0 lead. Desperately slow, that curveball, and Morales just sat on it, waited, and ripped it past Myers into the right field corner.
Yeah, good call, Dick. You're absolutely right. Recognizing that slow breaking ball out of the hand. And a ball like that, a slow pitch like that, where the location was, to have him keep that fair, getting his hands through first and then the barrel following, does a good job of keeping that ball fair.
4th Royals hit of the night, and the second off Villanueva. Here's Paulo Orlando, grounded to second his first time. The Royal success in the Cactus League last year. They won 20, lost only 10, and then went on to win the American League Central Division for the first time for Kansas City. They finished 12 full games ahead of Minnesota.
Hey, the AL Central got a little better this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously the Royals are the team to beat, but
there's a team up there in that city they call Windy, that windy part city.
The South Side.
Yeah, Chicago.
Yeah.
They are going to be good. They're loaded, huh? Yeah. They just keep adding on.
Anytime you have a starter like Chris Sale.
I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong league here. I'm also talking about the Cubs.
Oh, the Cubs on the north side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North. What is that? The north side?
North.
Swing and a miss, and that'll take care of business here in the third inning. But back-to-back doubles, Kane and Morales, and the Royals lead 1-0. Colin Ray will join us when we come back. Trailing the Royals 1-0, and a new pitcher for Kansas City will be Matt Strom. And we welcome down in the dugout as Colin Ray joins us. And your assessment of your 2 innings tonight?
Yeah, I felt pretty good for the most part. My arm felt good, so that's the biggest thing.
Anything in particular, Colin, that you're working on? Fastball location? It seemed like you had some good pitches working for you.
Yeah, I was working on just fastball command, both sides of the plate, trying to stay down in the zone.
You got some good downward angle, too, staying tall over that back side of yours. Now, that leads me to my question. What type of communication did you have with Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, this offseason?
Yeah, basically just the biggest thing was getting the arm in shape and going from there. I guess not too much communication was going on, but yeah, for the most part, it was just taking it like a normal offseason and getting the arm in shape, getting ready for spring training.
So you had intent when you left the 2015 year, as Carlos Schwarzenegger goes down swinging for the first out here in the third. You wanted to build yourself up physically, and the whole campus talked about how you came back a different looking guy. What was your process?
Just kind of, lift a little more, get in the weight room a little more, and focus on some more core stuff and eat a lot of food.
What was your diet? Give me some grub nuggets here.
Oh, it was kind of basic stuff.
Because I gained 40 pounds this offseason, and I can tell you how I did that, but I want to know how you gained 20.
Never mind.
Yeah. It was just kind of basic stuff. Just, maybe a little more for breakfast, a couple more eggs, and then a little more meat for dinner.
What is your ideal meal? Now, you're a Midwesterner. I suppose you like to dig into a big hunk of beef now and then.
Yeah. I'm pretty plain and pretty boring. Just steak and some potatoes.
How do you like your potatoes?
How do I like my potatoes?
Yeah.
Just on the frying pan or on the grill.
All gratin?
No, I don't.
Mashed?
No, not mashed.
Garlic mashed?
Just fried, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
A little bit of onion in there doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Probably, huh?
Yeah.
Fly ball to Amarista to left field, taken care of by Gordon for the second out.
Well, Colin, after getting a big taste of the big leagues last year, what's your idea? What's your thought process coming into spring training this year?
Yeah, I was definitely excited to get back into spring training. It was good to go home and see everyone back home and talk about it and kind of relive it. But I was ready to go after the New Year's, getting ready for spring training, and it was good to finally get out there on the mound against a different team.
I'm sure you were the talk of the town down at the local barbershop in Cascade, huh?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Hardware store?
Yeah.
What is the highlight in Cascade? What do you do on a hot Saturday night?
Well, not a whole lot. Just kind of hang out.
Go to the picture show?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Thanks, Colin.
Yeah.
Colin, nice
Congratulations.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Hope to see Colin and his parents doing a lot of embracing this year after a big win.
What a good kid.
I don't think you have to worry about him at least this year taking our place in the broadcast booth, do you? He's just so laid back. Melvin Upton rolls one foul. Upton fly to left, his first at bat. So the left-hander Matt Strom from West Fargo, North Dakota, on the hill. He was a 21st round pick of the Royals 4 years ago. Your left-hander, doesn't matter what the organization, you're going to get some attention. So even though he's only been to high A ball, they want to see what he can do here as Upton gets into one. That's deep to right center field, way back, and one hop against the wall. Upton sprints into second with a 2-out double. Couple of doubles for the Padres tonight. Nothing to show for it as yet. Kemp with a leadoff double the last inning.
Ball just jumped off the bat of Melvin Upton Jr. Hey, Kane out there in center field. He's got some speed, but there comes a point in time where the point of no return. Watch the throw that barrel. Foot is down. Throw the head. And when Lorenzo Kane can't get to it, there's a point of no return for an outfield. You got to play the carom. You don't want to overrun it.
It's out near that 410 sign in deep right center. So Manny Margot, Padres top prospect, acquired when Craig Kimbrell was traded to Boston. And in watching him take batting practice, and this is a different game now going against live pitching, he's a line drive machine. I mean, he squares it up, doesn't overswing, and he showed that yesterday with a line drive double to left field. Big breaking ball, 0-2. Margot, he has enough talent. Who knows? He could make it a big club in spring training, but the logical path will be to go to El Paso and develop even more of his hitting and fielding skills. He could be a play we talk about in the second half of the season this year. And a swing and a miss. So the Padres again with a double, but Strand Upton at second, and after 3 at Peoria, 1-0 Royals.
League action, and the Royals lead the Padres 1-0. Who doesn't like a ride on the Ferris wheel or the zipper? MLB.TV Premium. Everything you have to come to expect and more. New low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live and in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. You gotta have it.
You bet. As Chesler Cuthbert, who singled his first time, a line shot to left, starts things for the Royals in the fourth. 1-0 KC. Ground ball toward the hole. Amarista covers and gets him by a half step. Talking about the many strengths of this Kansas City team, and the bullpen being one of those. Third most saves in the majors last year. Second in the majors in ERA, behind Pittsburgh. Yeah, they're a complete team, and it was nice to see a team play the kind of baseball they did in going all the way to the World Series title.
Was it 2 years ago, Dick, when we sat down on the field, or was that last year? That was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Remember the Royals came to town?
Right.
We sat in the suites. That was 2 years ago, right? Because you could tell then that they had some serious talent on its way. And for the last 6 years, they've gone up in victories each and every year since 2010. 67, 71, 72, 86, 89, and the last year 95.
They've raised the bar, haven't they? They get more than 95 this year. You know who I really miss not seeing tonight, though, for Ned Yost, is that catcher, Salvador Perez. You could see 2 years ago with that rocket arm. Huge. He's huge.
Yes,
huh?
he is. Big kid.
MVP, World Series, but not in the lineup tonight. Balbino sends one high into the night. Shallow and right. Kemp. And there's two away. That'll bring up Whit Merrifield. He walked the first time. And you think of the players not in the lineup tonight: Alcides Escobar, Eric Hosmer, Omar Infante, the Moose, Mike Moustakas. And Jared Dyson, one bad news out of the KC camp, oblique muscle in his very first swing of the spring season. And he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. It's been a charmed spring so far for the Padres. No significant injuries.
Knock on wood.
Watch out. Coming back. And
hey, Dick, you got to promise me something. You want to make a bet? If the Padres win the World Series this year, you have to get a tattoo.
How do you know I don't already have one?
This is Salvador Perez after the KC Royals hoisted the trophy. World champions, KC, on his right, inside of his right bicep.
Look at the size of that arm.
You look at it.
I mean, you sure that wasn't his leg?
He's got the World Series champions logo along with MVP on the back of his right, his tricep area. Lower right, the tricep area. And then on the guns, the gun show, the World Series logo. Wow. So you promise me?
So you wonder, what I wonder about that, though, it's 2 outs here, Merrifield, with a count 0-2. It takes away, they're young men that get a tattoo and deeply in love with a woman, and then they don't marry that woman, but they got her name all up and down their arm. Then they got to find a way when they go out courting again how they get rid of that, Yeah, you mean you're not Dorothy?
You got to meet somebody with the same name.
Whatever. Well, Hepzibah is a tough one. So I would just wonder if he doesn't stay a Royal. Maybe that means he's a Royal for the rest of his life. Kansas City would applaud that.
He did sign the extension. Remember?
Good for him.
5 years.
Good for him. What a player.
Sure is.
2-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. And Villanueva has his second strikeout. Retires the side in order. Middle of the fourth. 1-0.
He's great. He's very passionate, and I think that's the main thing. When it comes to a manager, just being passionate about what you do, and he's definitely got plenty of that. And I'm excited to play for him this year. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table in every aspect of the game. So I'm just looking forward to playing for him this year.
And let's hope Andy Green will have Will Myers healthy in that lineup day after day. Passion. How can you not love this game, huh?
Oh, I know.
I mean, it just it grabs you and holds on to you even in the off season.
It's got me.
It's just
got a tight hold, that's for sure.
It's such a beautiful game.
I think it was you who mentioned it many, many times in our times in the booth here. Was it Jim Bouton who said for as many years he's been gripping a baseball, he finally realized that the baseball had a grip on him?
Yeah, isn't that a great line?
That's a great line.
Ball 4. Jim Bouton, the pitcher of the Yankees, who did the first really baseball expose in print. Myers fouls that away, and it's 1-2. Second inning for the left-hander of the Royals, Matt Strom. Pitched at Wilmington Advanced A last year. Won only one game, but his ERA 2.78. So here he is in spring with a chance. 2-2.
Outfield playing Will Myers to go the opposite way.
Aren't they? Look at the hole in left center.
Yeah. Lorenzo Cain way over on the first base side of second base and center.
There's that slow curveball grounded to third. Across for the out. Cuthbert to Mayor. That is a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
Fuen. Matt Kemp went the other way with a double just inside the right field line his first at bat. Boy, Strom looks a lot younger than 24.
He sure does. Kind of changes his arm angle a little bit as well. Let's see how he goes after the veteran Matt Kemp. First pitch fastball away.
Kemp's strength hitting left-handed pitching, and that way his entire career. Hit .331 against lefties last year. Two and one.
Every pitch has been away.
And they play him away in the outfield. Kane again into right center. What an alley in left center. And 3-1.
And some hitters may look at the defense and get a little froggy and try to pull that outside pitch to try to hit that hole in left center field. Next thing you know, he tops it. It's a grounder to the shortstop.
Sails high and away off into the parking lot to the right. Next Padre will be Ryan Buckner. Left-hander, 29 years of age. Signed as a free agent. Sharply hit. Nicely gloved. Cuthbert across. 2 away.
Nothing you can do there, Matt Kemp. Put a good swing on it, hit it on the sweet spot, but a sweet play by Cuthbert. And as we mentioned, Strom going after the veteran right-handed hitter, Matt Kemp. Mentioned everything was away, trying to hit his spots. Maybe trying to work on the location of that fastball. So Matt Kemp being patient. And that's not his sweet spot. 2-0 fastball count. Still not my cup of tea. Away again. So nothing but heaters. There's the one pitch he maybe could have driven the other way.
So here's Jan Solarte, turns around, hits from the right side, and grounds it to third baseman Cuthbert, who has all 3 assists. 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, fourth inning. It's the Cuthbert Show in Peoria, 1-0. Beautiful baseball night. Welcome back to the Valley of the Sun and Peoria, Arizona, about 20 miles northwest of downtown Phoenix. This is Ryan Buchter, signed as a free agent by the Padres in the offseason. 6'4", 250-pound southpaw, New Jersey native.
Yeah, nice numbers, too, last season at AAA. Look at that ERA below 2. A fair share of innings, 50 and 2/3 frames. More strikeouts than innings pitched. Maybe a little bit of high in the walks, but the opponent's only hitting 200. Buchter, 90 to 94 on the fastball. He's got good life in the zone, up in the zone. He will pitch up in the zone by design, Dick, to get those swings and misses up.
And Mark Grant, he followed up that fine season in the minors last year in the Cubs organization in the Mexican League. In the winter was 3-0 with 10 saves. So the Padres hope that he might be that always valuable left-hander, come in and get a left-handed hitter out, or maybe more. And that spot is open.
Yeah, middle inning type guy, situational type guy. Very integral part for any bullpen to be successful.
Catcher Drew Butera took a third strike his first time. And then the top of the order, Torres and Gordon.
Ryan scheduled to go 1 inning, or about 20 pitches.
Formidable size.
Hey, this pitching staff for the Padres, they can field an NBA team.
Rip just foul. Yeah, got a young kid right-hander, Arias. He's 6'10". Yeah, they could have a front line 6'10", 6'8", 6'7".
Yep.
A.J. Preller at the point, the general manager. He likes to handle the ball, set up the plays. That's in there. And a long walk for Butera for the second time, caught looking both at bats.
Oh, Buchter, where does he go here? Watch the glove of Norris, down and away. Oh, nails it. And the walk of shame for Butera.
Ramon Torres, the leadoff man, bounced out and flied out. We were impressed yesterday. Drew Pomerantz, a former #1 draft pick of the Colorado Rockies, and the Padres have signed him this year in the offseason, and he had a solid 1, 2, 3 innings, struck out a couple. He's a guy that could be a starter, make the rotation. They're going to give him a chance either way, or go to the pen. And it's the 7th year for me, and it's the first time that we've come to Peoria. And there's so many positions available. I mean, the competition is high. It's not like the team is set and there'll be 1 or 2 different players from a year ago. There's going to be a major turnover.
And I think it's a great thing, because I think competition brings out the best in players. You get pushed a little bit. You know that maybe 2 or 3 guys are fighting for one spot. And it's a good thing.
Buchter ahead of Torres, 2 strikes. Oh, right down the middle, and back-to-back strikeouts looking for Ryan Buckner. And one of the spots is several vying for that left field position. We've got young Margot out there tonight, but Alex Dickerson, Hunter Renfroe, the #1 pick of the Padres 3 years ago, a huge right-handed hitter, Jabari Blash, who's got a tremendous minor league home run record. We saw Travis Jankowski last year. He's in the running for that left field spot.
So opportunity is knocking. It's time to make the most of that each at bat. Hey, defensive plays, covering some ground. Jankowski, he's got the speed. We know that. Left side of the plate hitting. Blash, a lot of swings and misses. You know, he's a Rule 5 guy. Hunter Renfroe, we've heard about him throughout the minor leagues. Now it's his time to shine, hopefully.
3 for 4 this spring so far for Renfroe. So here's Gordon. Hit the ball hard twice, deep to right center for an out, and then lined out to center the last time. Now facing the left-hander. And the count 2-0. High. Back into the crowd. Boy, that'll scatter fans. Let that one fall.
Favorite part of the year for you, Professor? Spring training?
Yes. Yeah, going back to my first spring training days in Palm Springs with the California
those
Angels.
were the days, man. I love that ballpark.
They only had the one ballpark and then a little mini field. That's all the training facility they had.
How times
Oh,
have
no,
changed.
I'll take that back. At night after it got dark, there were a lot of training facilities.
Yeah, I remember one in particular, Zelda's. Good hot spot in Palm Springs back in the mid-'80s.
Oh, boy. At my time in the 60s and 70s, the Angels were the only team in Major League Baseball that left spring training in worse shape than when they came to spring training. Oh, man, those spas that bubble, you know, at night at 2 o'clock in the morning, you'd see half the infield and half the outfield in there. 3-2. Check swing low. And the first base runner against Buchter as Gordon took a pretty good pitch. So Buchter now faces Lorenzo Cain, who doubled and scored the Royals run in the third inning. Doubled to right center and came home on Kendrys Morales' double.
You really hate to see 2 quick outs via the strikeout and then a free pass.
Line foul.
Guy's got a gig after the game. He brought his guitar to the yard. Or maybe that's a banjo. Who knows?
On deck is Cody Decker, the former Padre, who was free agent in the camp, minor league signee by the Royals. And he checked his swing, 1-1. Yeah, we saw Cody as he came onto the field before the game tonight.
Yeah, he's a good egg.
Oh, isn't he, though?
We wish him well.
Hit all those home runs his minor league career. Did come up for the Padres last year. Took a 1-week offer. 0 for 11.
Yeah.
And the count 1-2.
Everybody checking on that gentleman that he's okay. Now she's offering him the ball back, but
Yeah, you knocked it down. Why don't you at least keep that as a souvenir?
That guy's hurt. Right in the knee.
Got to charge those.
Yeah. You know, that brings up a point, Dick, because that's one of the things Major League Baseball, remember that extended screen? We're going to see what ballparks have that extended screen down by the dugouts, protecting the fans.
No, word is every park will at least go to the dugout to dugout behind home plate. Some will go farther down the lines. Over but low. And the count levels out at 2-2 to Lorenzo Cain.
You can see how close the fans are. You know, you get a left-handed hitter, that's the Royals dugout on the third base side. You get a hot smash, that's tough to react quickly. Got to be heads up with each and every pitch. Hey, bring your glove to the yard.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. You always bring yours on your belt there. It's like your saber, you know, sword. Well, we've noticed that at Petco Park. I mean, young and old, the fans bring their gloves, and maybe the best fielding crowd in baseball at Petco, huh? We got a lot of good players there.
Absolutely.
Balls.
Yep.
2-2 again. Buchter to Cain. Another foul.
This is typical Kansas City Royal batting, isn't it? A lot of foul balls, working the count.
Get a chance. We didn't mention one of the new additions here at the Peoria complex down the left field line. They've added seats down second deck and a wonderful facility at the Colonnade for pie catering and parties and high-end ticket holders. 2-2. it get him? Apparently he did.
I don't know whether he got hit or he hurt himself on the fall. Happened so quickly.
Pitching inside again.
Yep.
Yeah, it looked like he got him right on the instep.
Yep. Sure did.
Or the shin, and there's not a lot of meat there to protect.
Oh, yeah.
The backside.
The inside of the right foot.
So the run for Lorenzo Cain pushes Gordon to second. Eisner is the base runner. Eibner with a B, Brett Eibner. So 2 on, 2 out against Buckner here in the 5th inning as the Royals with a 1-0 lead over the Padres bring up Kendrys Morales, who sent a double down the right field corner to knock in the KC run in the 3rd. High fly ball behind second, and cruising in Upton to collect the final out.
Halfway mark on this one. 4.5 in the books. 1-0. We're going to visit with Ryan.
It is a gorgeous night here in Peoria where the Royals lead 1-0. And I am standing here with Mr. Corey Spangenberg. Talk to me. How has it been so far, spring training? What are your thoughts?
It's been great so far. Andy's done an excellent job of coming in here and really setting the tempo, playing with a purpose, and, just competing at a high level.
I heard he also likes to play music all the time. He's always got music pumping. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Baseball's so much better with music. That's something we didn't have last year, and, it just adds another element.
Do you get to make any requests?
No, not yet. Not at that level.
Now, what have you personally been working on?
It's everything. It's offense, defense, team fundamentals. We've just been trying to hit it all.
Now, there are a lot of young guys here, a lot of guys competing and vying for spots. What's it like with that competition? How do you stand out?
Competition, it makes everyone better. Without competition, everyone's complacent. I don't think we had that on our team. I think everyone's pretty hungry this year.
Very nice. All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing a lot of good stuff from you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you talking to me on game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys?
All right. Thank you, Julie. Ground ball to shortstop, and across for the out as Derek Norris retired on a ground ball for his second at bat. Corey Spangenberg, of course, was the Padres' #1 pick in the draft 5 years ago, 10th overall. Came up in 108 ball games last year and hit a respectable .271. He just looks not only bigger, he's gained weight as well. He told me 12 pounds, but he seems even taller. I mean, and the second base job is his to lose. I mean, he's penciled in there. Skip Schumacher grounded to third his first time.
And on this Bow Wow night here in Peoria, it's only appropriate. My dog Skip up at the plate. Movie back, I think in the 90s, way back, going way back. Like to see Skip run around those bases.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. I guess Rin Tin Tin was probably the first famous movie dog, and then of course Lassie. We all grew up with Lassie. I think every kid in those back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, they wanted a collie because of Lassie, huh? What kind of dog do you have?
What's wrong, girl? I have a Labrador Retriever, Chunk. Ooh, he's the best.
Black?
Yellow, like a gold. Gold, yeah.
Schumacher to left field. Got Gordon there. Apply his gold glove for the second out. And that brings up Carlos Suaje. Struck out his first time. New pitcher is Alec Mills, 6'4", 24-year-old from Cunningham, Tennessee. Went to University of Tennessee Martin. The 22nd round pick of the Royals 4 years ago. Ground ball to second and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Mills. And we've completed 5 here in Peoria. Fast-paced game. Royals 1, Padres nothing.
I'm standing here with Mr. Matt Kemp. So tell me, what has been the biggest difference coming into spring training this year?
Nothing much. I think this year is a little bit more relaxed. You know, last year I was coming into a new team and not knowing too much of anything that was going on. But you know, this year is a lot more relaxed and having a lot of fun so far.
And speaking of new, give me your first impressions on new manager Andy Green.
It's been fun so far. You know, we were only third game into the season, but you know, he's passionate about the game. He wants to win, and you know, we'll do whatever it takes to get out there and get some wins.
He had said that you're working on your steps, you're working on your breaks. Are any personal goals that you have coming into the season?
You know, for me, every year is just stay healthy and give my team a good chance to win every night. Simple as that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for joining me and Gabe. Appreciate it. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Julie. And Matt Kemp is key to the center of that offense of the Padres this year, and they'll build Andy Green's offense around him as Blake Smith comes in to pitch. 6'2" right-hander. He's 28 years of age from Modesto High School and went to UC Berkeley. In fact, he was a teammate with Tyson Ross with the Bears. drafted by the Dodgers, a second-round pick back in 2009. Rule 5 selection by the Padres, 1 of 5. And of course, fans well know that whole process. You pay $50,000 for an unprotected player on a 40-man roster, but you have to keep him on your roster the entire year or give him back to the team from which you drafted him.
Fastball, curveball, changeup. He's got a power curveball. We just saw it there, smothered by Austin Hedges, who is now catching in the low 90s with his fastball.
Paulo Orlando leads it off for the Royals. He's grounded out and struck out, and Austin Hedges takes over behind the plate. A couple of other changes for the Padres. Jankowski goes into center, Renfroe in right. Weeks is now at second, and Noonan at third. And Amarista can't get that one. A ground ball up the middle. Base hit Orlando. That's the 5th Royals hit tonight. Padres have only a couple.
Well, a grounder is a pitcher's best friend, but sometimes the grounder eludes the defender. And this one right here, Orlando, it's up. He gets on top of it. But Alexi Amarista looked like that he was kind of playing a little bit to the pull side.
Tie a yellow ribbon around that one, huh?
That old oak tree.
Yeah. Orlando with a hit, and Gore warming up is going to pinch run for him. Terrence Gore, the base runner. And the hitter is Cuthbert. Single to left and grounded to short. Jose Martinez is in the on-deck circle. He apparently will hit for Balpino Fuenmayor. Big lead. And the fastball in there. Both managers will have to pool our resources and send them a case of their favorite chocolate milk, because they're doing something that we haven't seen in the past.
What's that?
Well, this is the skirmish time, the 5th, 6th inning, where 9 players change, 9 defense, 9 offense. They don't necessarily hit in the order of the man they replace. There goes the runner, and he is out of there. Looked like a late tag on the backside of Gore, but punched out by Bill Miller, the second base umpire.
Well, we know the catching skills of Austin Hedges. Just recently inserted this half inning. Let's check it out. Get down there. Ooh, very, very close. Very close. Looks like Gore may have gotten his foot in there, but a nice swipe tag at second base. A throw a little on the high side, but when you've got a cannon for an arm, even if it's up a little bit, can help you out as a catcher.
Of course, no replay, no challenge during spring training, but we are going to have some changes around the Keystone this year. The neighborhood play is forsaken, and we'll be able to challenge that play now. And shortstops and second basemen feel that they're trying to take away the roadblock and possible injuries of players coming and taking out that second or shortstop. But there's been a trade-off now, because one of the unwritten rules of play around the bag was you didn't always have to be right there when you caught it and tagged it, and you could get out of the way. Now they got to stay there and make sure that they've made contact to complete that force.
It's amazing in this game of baseball how certain plays or stuff that has happened has taken on players' names.
Slice to right, and Renfroe just into the game as the first out here in the 6th inning.
But the blown on the collateral ligament, Tommy John surgery, right? The play at the plate, the Buster Posey rule. Now, is this going to be the Chase Utley rule?
Yeah, they'll call it the Utley rule after the broken leg suffered in the playoffs last year by Tejada, the Mets shortstop. Dusty Coleman is the on-deck hitter as Yost now going to his bench. But just to underline what the two managers have done, they've given you the replacements for late in the game and in the position they're going to hit. Well, that's a godsend for us in the booth, because it's a nightmare when suddenly 18 new players appear and you don't know where they are and where they're going to hit. So we owe them one, both managers. Martinez, the batter. 2 outs now in the 6th. Bases clear. Into the hole to Amarista. The long throw just in time. Bottom of the 6th inning. The Padres will lead it off with Amarista. They need a run to tie. Put back-to-back doubles together in the 3rd inning. Lorenzo Cain and Kendrys Morales. They'll count for the only run in the game. Totals 1 run, 5 hits for the World Series champs. Padres no runs and 2 hits on Bow Wow Powwow night in Peoria.
Yeah, a couple of Doberman pitchers right there enjoying a big league ball game with a pug.
Alexi Amarista leads it off for the Padres in the bottom of the 6th, then the top of the order. Wholesale changes on both sides as Alex Mills goes to work in his 2nd inning. Retired the Padres in order in the 5th. Amarista fly to left is only at bat. And the count goes 2-1. Amarista last year finished at 204 with 3 homers.
Yeah, talk about a guy who has to use the whole field. Wouldn't you agree, Professor?
Absolutely. And he does right there. Just foul. Just slices that foul. Yeah, the last couple of years, almost the worst thing that could happen to Alexi Amarista is to hit a home run.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
And then he goes 0 for 20 because he's trying to hit 5 more in the next 2 at-bats.
And I remember Padre fans remember back in 1998 they had a second baseman by the name of Kilvio Veras. He fell into the same trap. He'd go yard, 0 for his next like 18.
So the Royals making changes in the outfielders. Snyder in left, Eibner in center, Bonifacio is in right. On the infield, Calixe at 3rd, Mondesi, there's a familiar name at short. Dusty Coleman at 2nd. Martinez, who entered the game as a pinch hitter, at first base. Butera stays behind the plate, the only starter still in the game. So 2-2 to Amarista. Try to get something going for the home side here. Trailing 1-0 in the 6th. Sharply hit, but right at the second baseman. Coleman over to Martinez. 1 away. 8 straight retired by Royals pitching since the double by Upton with 2 outs in the 3rd. Here's Jankowski batting for the first time. He's hitting in the leadoff spot. Upton went a double and a fly out in his 2 at-bats. Good speed. He and Spangenberg, the fastest of the Padres in camp. And can bunt for a base hit. Has done so already this spring, but this one another roller to the second baseman, knocked down by Coleman, and he just does get it over in time.
Hey, Major League Baseball All-Star Week is coming to San Diego. That's right, folks. You heard it. San Diego, the All-Star Game, this July 8th through July 12th. Register now for the chance to purchase tickets at allstargame.com. That's allstargame.com. Registration ends April 20th. It's going to be an all-star year in San Diego.
Oh, isn't that going to be exciting? A home run contest, all the pageantry and color around all the games best coming to our great city.
I've never been to an all-star game. This will be my first. How about you?
That'll be my first as well.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I'm stunned by that. I thought for sure through all these years I might have attended one. Yeah, normally if you're not involved working in the games, that's a time off, 3 days off for most of us. Margot stayed in the game with all the other changes made by Andy Green. He has popped up and struck out tonight.
Well, I've heard a lot of talk about this kid right here, Jabari Blash.
Oh, this is Blash coming in for Margot.
Big frame, long arms, a lot of momentum in that swing. 32 home runs combined, AA and AAA last year.
Takes it high, 3-2. Now in some of the batting sessions here in spring training, players on the other fields that border where he's hitting, you got to have a helmet on in the outfield because he's been clearing the fences, but he also does that, and that's been the whole key for him to make this club. Can he not strike out as much as he has in the minors? Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Padres retired in order, so on to the 7th with the score 1-0. And we're pleased that veteran Skip Schumacher offering us some time down in the Padre dugout. And we formally can welcome you, Skip, to that Padre uniform.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Great to have you here. What are your impressions? You've been in many a major league camp and some of the best with the Cardinals, and now you're in that new uniform, new leader, new teammates.
I tell you what, Andy Green hit it as good of a message as you can give day one of spring training. They picked a good one. His staff is incredible. Now we just got to play. And, first couple days of spring are tough, trying to get the timing right and all that kind of thing. But as far as the team meetings and what he wants to bring the culture-wise, you can't get any better than what Andy's doing.
Skip, Andy Green said in his press conference this morning, he said Skip Schumacher is such an integral part of the success of this team this year. He said because you're not afraid to call out guys, call out veterans, but you're the same type of guy that if somebody gets on you because they want you to do something maybe better. Is that fair to say, the way Skip Schumacher plays this game of baseball in the clubhouse?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of some winning teams. I see what it takes to win, and I've been in 6 postseasons. I've been a part of 2 World Series championships. I know what it takes to win. I have an idea, I think, and whether it means to get into somebody or for them to get into me, vice versa. The clubhouse needs to take care of itself. It should never go to the manager or any of the coaching staff. It needs to police itself, and we got a bunch of really good guys here, and I haven't made the team yet, so I appreciate Andy saying that, but if I am fortunate enough to make this club, as much as I can offer, I'm willing to give.
As you think back to as the leadoff hitter here is Dusty Coleman, and he's thrown out by third baseman Noonan. You think back to the Cardinals and their reputation, well deserved, of not only a great base for baseball. I mean, the fandom there is fantastic, and their clubs year after year perform at the highest level. Can you share with us who might have been the clubhouse leader for the Redbirds?
Well, I'm a big believer, and there's a leader on the coaching staff, there's a leader on the pitching staff, and there's a leader in the position players. And while I was there, no question about it, it was Tony La Russa was our guy. Pitching staff was Chris Carpenter. Now it's Adam Wainwright, and the position player was either Yadi Molina or I would say Yadi Molina or Albert Pujols. And so the thing about the Cardinals is they are such good veteran-wise of taking care of the young guys and having them learn from them right away. So Carpenter took Wainwright right away, and look what Wainwright's become. He's doing it to Walker right now. Mike Matheny did it to Molina, and look at what Molina is doing right now. And it just trickles down right into the farm system, so you know what you're getting once you get to the big leagues, and that's why they're so successful year in and year out.
Skip, was the signing with the San Diego Padres a main concern of yours? I mean, growing up in Torrance and living in Ladera Ranch, California, playing with the Dodgers now here in San Diego, was that a big part of it?
It was huge. I have a family. I have 2 kids, 8 and 6. I also grew up in Torrance, like you said, but I had an Ozzie Smith glove, and I'd have to wear that for years, an autographed Ozzie Smith glove growing up. And it's surreal to be around here right now in the same uniform as him.
Quick 7th inning, Skip. We'll have a chance to chat many times during the course of the year. Hopefully you'll be part of this Padre 2016 season. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we reflect on the Fall Classic, the Mets and the Royals, and that ninth inning. Matt Harvey convincing his manager Collins that he should stay in, and broken bats and slow rollers and heady base running, and that's how the Royals win games and win the big prize. To be admired. Won in Game 6, or Game 5 actually, 4-1 over the Mets. And now, after winning 95 last year, the pundits have the Indians this year winning 85, the White Sox, and then the Royals.
Oh, is that unbelievable or what? We mentioned it earlier how the AL Central got a little bit better there. There's the Indians, White Sox, Tigers, and the Royals at 4th.
Come
really?
on.
At 79 and 83?
Some think the Minnesota Twins might be the team that wins it all. Well, on we go, and that's what makes it fun. They're all tied for first place at the moment.
Yep.
So the Padres trailing 1-0. This is Eric Kratz, veteran catcher, also coming in tonight at first base, and he hits one deep to left field. Back goes the left fielder to make the catch. Snyder. Well, hit it on the button, but right at the left fielder. That'll bring up Hunter Renfroe.
Put a good swing on it. Looked like maybe some topspin. Let's check out the swing. It's belt buckle high. He squared it up pretty nicely. And I hate to say it, but that's a hang with him. Nothing you can do there, Eric. Keep swinging.
Renfroe, a couple of infield hits and a double in 4 at-bats this spring. Highly touted #1 draft pick. There are his numbers split at El Paso and San Antonio last year. 20 home runs. 5-tool player. He's got the best arm of any outfielder in the system. He's got, for his size, good speed, power. Can he hit consistently and go get the ball?
Well, we've been hearing about him all along, and it'd be nice to have the Padres have that one guy, that homegrown Padre that comes up and just makes an impact, right? That impact player. I mean, we can go around the league, and each team, there are teams out there who have those impact players.
One thing he has done is cut down on the power of his swing. And coaches got to him in the minor leagues and said, hey, you're so strong, you don't have to swing that hard to hit a home run. And if you don't swing quite as hard, maybe you'll have a little more bat control and cut down on the strikeouts. That's been the one negative in his progress up through the system. They want to cut down the number of times he's punched out.
This being his 4th year as a pro, being drafted back in 2013.
Full count. And right, boy, the ball's finding the gloves tonight on the infield. Every ball right to a infielder's glove, and another infield put out. That's 12 batters in a row retired by Royals pitching. I'm just going to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ground ball outs tonight.
Working down in the zone, late movement.
Here's Nick Noonan. Local product, San Diego, signed as a top pick by the San Francisco Giants, and Padres have signed him to a minor league contract. He attended Francis Parker High School in San Diego. At one time, you think about Matt Duffy and Joe Panik in that young San Francisco infield. They thought Noonan would precede them. And he rips one into right field for a base hit. Padres' 3rd base knock of the night. Tying run on with 2 outs.
Noonan! Noonan! Noonan!
Yeah, Nick.
He could put a swing on this one. Front foot, little toe tap down. Look at when the front foot is on the ground, the hands are back, ready, locked, and loaded. Throw the head of that, Shillelagh.
I like Andy Green talks that you've got to learn to dance with the pitcher. You got to be using his rhythm and that knee lift and plant.
Perfect cadence right there,
yeah.
That one.
Austin Hedges batting for the first time. Derek Norris grounded out his 2 at-bats. Christian Bethancourt, who hit a long home run yesterday, is in the on-deck circle. Well, tying run with 2 outs, carried by Noonan. Padres finally break that string of 12 straight outs from the Royals pitching. Austin getting a chance to be on the big club most of last year. Backup catcher, no doubt about his defensive skills. He's very talented. Played winter ball, trying to improve his stick work. Good cut there, 0-2.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot to be said. Austin Hedges, obviously, we know his background, #1 pick. Some guys might think, yeah, you know what, I don't need to go to winter ball. No, he wants to go down there. Hey, you risk a lot, I think, going to winter ball. Injury always comes into play. But he knows that he's got to work on some things. So he went down there and worked on that swing. I mean, he does a fine job behind the plate. We know what he does behind the plate.
2-strike count. Safe lead for Nick Noonan. In the dirt, Noonan a couple of quick steps towards second, then scampers back. 1-2. New first base coach Tarek Brock. Got the stopwatch out, working on the pitcher's timing.
I had a chance to meet Tarek this morning in the clubhouse. Anxious to be part of the staff here in San Diego under Andy Green.
Outside, Darren Balsley, and carryover from the past regimes. New coaches, Mark McGuire, the bench coach. Alan Zinter is the hitting coach. Eddie Rodriguez, the infield specialist, and will work sometimes in the boxes. And of course, the ever familiar Glenn Hoffman working the signs down at third base. Line drive, right field, fair ball into the corner. Noonan on his horse is around second to third. He's going to try to score. Here comes the relay to the plate, and the game is tied. Austin Hedges delivers a 2-out double, and we're even at 1. The kids delivering here in the 7th inning.
2-out clutch hitting. Austin Hedges. Why try to pull the ball? He wants it down and in. He misses with location. Now, he's not the most fleet of foot, Austin Hedges, and Nick Noonan getting the green light, tying it up. But it's just a great job, a great approach by Austin Hedges, taking that pitch that was missed as far as location was concerned, up and away, taking it that way for the double.
So Skip Schumacher out of the game. This is Christian Bethancourt, catcher, acquired from the Atlanta Braves. He and Hedges battling for that backup spot behind the plate, behind Derek Norris. He had one halfway up on the hitter's backdrop. Had to be about had the backdrop not stopped his drive, about 450 feet yesterday. Hit only 2 home runs all last year. Here's another highly touted player. There's several of those in camp that just, for whatever reason, didn't live up to their draft or purchase reputation. Very skilled, this guy, and young. And the Braves and others were baffled by the fact he didn't hit better.
I'd like to correct myself. Austin Hedges, 2nd-round pick. I mentioned 1st round. Well, he's good enough to be a 1st-rounder. But, in fact, a 2nd-round pick, Austin Hedges.
Padres have tied it. They have the go-ahead score out there in the form of Hedges at second.
Now, this is a situation where lefty on righty, you know, Bethancourt probably susceptible to an off-speed pitch down and away like a changeup. Let's see if he keeps the ball down and away. Yep.
Nice guy back of second. And that'll do it for the Padres. But 2-out single from Noonan and an RBI double Austin Hedges. And after 7, we're tied at 1. Get great offers on 5 exciting new models. Shop choosing at Nissan.com today. By Sequan Casino, play, win together in the heart of San Diego. And by Petco, what we feed them matters. So the Padres tied at 1. New pitcher is Tyrone Guerrero. Johnny Hellwig worked a very quick 1-2-3 inning while we were chatting with Skip Schumacher and did an outstanding job. Again, in the hands of the young men trying to make this 25-man roster.
And all 6-7 of him. See the numbers combined, AA and AAA last year for the right-hander Guerrero. A nice number there. $199 opponents hitting off of him. A little high on the walks, 31 and 56 frames, but look at the strikeouts, 61. More strikeouts than innings pitched for Guerrero. So it's a fastball slider change. He's been clock deck up to 100. He's gotten that radar gun up to 100. Live arm.
And he will face Travis Snyder, Brett Eibner, and former Padre Cody Decker, scheduled to hit third here in the 8th inning. Again, a reminder, 1 o'clock Arizona time on Sunday. And the Padres will be hosting the Oakland A's here on Fox Sports San Diego. Dick Enberg with Mark Grant here on our initial venture, as we televise most every game in the spring and, of course, throughout the course of the year. Veteran Snyder, first ball hunting, sends a nice convenient 2-hopper out to second for the first out. Weeks over to Kratz for the putout. That'll bring up Brett Eibner, who came into the game back in the 5th inning when Lawrence O'Kane was struck by a pitch in the ankle. Fastball for a strike. Our spring training radar gun decided to take Friday night off. You know, that's what they do.
Yeah, he's out having a good time somewhere in Peoria.
But they say he's going to be back Sunday, or we're going to look for yeah, we're going to make a trade.
We couldn't get anybody off the waiver wire or the Rule 5?
No, they, you know, they're
tonight.
It's tough when they, you know, they don't give you a warning. And that one fouled away.
Well, it's been the off season, and glad that baseball is back, but no script. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In the accounts and description, this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Did anyone ever tell you sure resemble yourself? Have they? Well done, my man.
Thank you.
Couldn't wait, could you?
Hey, it's just like that poem as a kid when you're in school.
Eibner, a little lyric there as he takes strike 3. 2 away, and Cody Decker steps up, the former UCLA star, longtime farmhand of the Padres. Actor now. He's got a great career in that business after baseball. I guess this game teaches how to do that. Watch out. Fall back.
He got in on the knuckles on that pitch.
Let's see, I counted up the former Padres on this Kansas City 60-man spring roster. You got, of course, the 2 pitchers in the rotation, Big Chris Young and Ian Kennedy now. I mean, part of the staff here with the Royals. And Edison Volquez.
Yes.
So 3 in their rotation, former Padre pitchers. And you've got Cody Decker. Clint Barmas is a minor league signee with Kansas City. Ross Ohlendorf, the veteran, still around, trying to make the club. Raymond Fuentes, the outfielder, in the minor league camp for Kansas City. 0-2 to Decker. Remember Cody last year, he didn't get a base hit, but he did not get a run with the sacrifice fly. So he was so happy about the fact that now he has a major league number in the book.
Speaking of numbers, look what they did this year in the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League. The logo on the numbers on the uniforms.
Guerrero, impressive. A ground out and a couple punch outs. 1-1 tie.
It's happening.
Prepared to root for his San Diego favorites. All right. And let's go to our Bill Howe play of the game. And very simply, it goes back to the last inning. Padres trailing 1-0. Noonan at first base, and Austin Hedges rifles one into the right field corner, eluding Bonifacio, and that allowed Noonan to scamper with 2 outs on the way around and tie it up at 1. Our Bill Howe play of the game.
Hey, call a neighbor, phone a friend. We got ourselves a barn burner here in Cactus League. We're tied up, knotted up at 1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
And a submarining Peter Moylan. He pitches from down under, and that's where he was raised, in Australia. 37-year-old veteran, signed by Kansas City, a minor league free agent.
It's always nice to have a pitcher in your bullpen mix that really gives you a different look. Moylan is that guy, as you mentioned, Dick. Different arm angle coming from down under.
He faces Weeks now in at second base.
And when you throw from that angle, you don't have to throw that hard. Look at Brad Ziegler from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Guy throws about 84 to 86, but he gets tons of ground balls.
In there, 1-1. Adam Rosales is in the on-deck circle to hit next, and then the top of the order, Jankowski here in the Padre 8th inning, tied at 1. What do you think as we get to a situation where you could have a walk-off win? The Orioles this year announcing that they are not going to have that walk-off celebration anymore, that they actually feel that it's begging to create an injury of some sort.
You know, I'm right there with you, Dick. I think that's a very smart move.
I mean, kids will be kids, even grown. Line drive over the leaping try of the first baseman, Martinez. And rounding first, Weeks on his way to second. The throw not in time. A leadoff double. Padres double happy tonight. That's their 4th of the game.
Well, knotted up at 1 late in the bottom of the 8th, and Weeks putting a good swing at it. Moylan from down under. A good view from the left side of the right-handed Moylan, but he spins on this one, gets that bat head through. Now the play's right in front of him. Is he thinking about 3? Might as well just pull up with the leadoff double.
So this 1-1 tie. Padres with a chance to take the first lead of the game here in the late innings. Jamil Weeks delivering a double, his first at bat as a Padre this spring. And here's Adam Rosales. See what Andy Green has in mind here. He's hitting away.
Padres need some clubbers this inning. Club that baseball. Swing that shillelagh.
Veteran Rosales, 228 hitter a season ago. One of the many signees in the offseason. Served with the Yankees and others in his career. As I recall, he played with the Broncos at Western Michigan University. From Maine, Illinois High School, and then matriculated at Western in Kalamazoo. Line drive, base hit, center field. Weeks had to hold to make sure the ball wasn't caught. Now he's turning third and heading for home. And the Padres lead it 2-1. Center fielder Eibner had trouble coming up with the ball cleanly, so Rosales takes second base after the RBI single. The second on the air in center.
Well, the Padres are 0-2 in Cactus League action, but the second game they came back and scored some runs late. Seems that that's the situation here as they take the lead. Some good at-bats, still nobody out. Down and in. Oh, I see that ball knuckle off the bat. Clubbers.
Weeks carrying the go-ahead run, 2-1. Rosales at second base, and the leadoff hitter Jankowski, and able to get out of the way of that one. Jankowski entered the game in the 6th inning and grounded out. Well, the Padres yesterday against Seattle were down 6-1, and the reserves in the late innings made it a battle. Finally succumbed 6-5. Squaring and taking low. Alex Dickerson is in the on-deck circle. Due next. You can hear in the background the attendance figures being announced, and 9,054, near sellout here tonight. See if Green's idea here is to try to get that runner over to third, and Jankowski, normally an efficient bunter, fouls that off. 2-1.
Hey, tough to bunt off a sidewinder like Moylan, who's got that dipping action, that sinking action. A lot of movement, even though he's not that overpowering. He used to be really overpowering, Moylan did. Former shortstop for the Twins. Came back after 4 or 5 years off to become a sidearm. He threw really hard. He was a flamethrower, man. Signed by Atlanta out of the WBC back in the day. Now he's more of a finesse guy.
Chop to the mound. The play's at third. No, he doesn't go there. And the runner does advance on the tap out by Jankowski. So it gets the job done. Padres a chance to fortify the 2-1 lead with a fly ball or a decent ground ball out.
You know, that's good recognition right there by Rosales at second base. As soon as that ball was tapped at home plate, he is off and running. Why? Because A, it's not a force play, and 2, a good throw, a great throw has got to be thrown to third base to get the runner.
So here's Alec Dickerson batting for the first time. Product of Poway High School, Indiana University. In the running for that job in left field. Throughout his minor league career, good numbers, good power numbers. Rosales 90 feet away. AAA last year hit over 300 with a dozen homers and productive 71 runs batted in. At El Paso, he was a big dog with the Chihuahuas there, you know.
Yeah, he was. He was foaming at the mouth. He was such a big dog.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from those.
Yeah.
Hoffman helping Rosales there at third. Infield tight. Hitter's delight. Ball gets away, and here comes Rosales, and it's a 3-1 game. Gift run for the Padres on the wild pitch. And trailing throughout the night and finally tying it in the 7th. The Padres come up with a pair here in the 8th and a 3-1 advantage.
And even though it's spring training, take him any way you can get him. That was a very catchable ball.
Yeah, I thought that was more of a pass ball.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dick.
Glove right there. (3-0) to Dickerson. Might take a big swing here. Now the Padres have the lead, but that's way outside. Ball 4. The 1-out walk. That brings up Eric Kratz. Hitting for the second time. He hit the ball hard the last at bat, and the 7th drilled a line drive, but right to the left fielder Snyder. Over but low. And another out of the strike zone. Kratz, a veteran, will be 36 this summer. First came up to the big leagues with the Pirates in 2010 and served behind the plate with the Phillies for 3 years, then Toronto a year, a couple years with Kansas City, and then last year back in Philly for just 12 games. Moylan having trouble finding the strike zone. That's 7 straight balls thrown by the man from Australia.
Speaking of having trouble, last year's Pick the Stick. Did you do some off-season training for this year's Pick the Stick?
See, our audience may not know what that is. It's a very vital part of our Fox Sports San Diego broadcast. That's in at the knees, 3-1. See,
how about, why don't you describe to the folks at home?
Every game of the season, all of us pick a player, and it rotates around. You don't always have the first pick, and you've won what the last 2 years. Is that why you brought it up? No.
2 times.
Would that make you the defending champion?
Going for the 3 feet
2-time defending champion. Yeah.
Going for the 3 feet.
And you know, I kind of sacrificed my season. I saw you. You got so upset whenever you weren't in the lead. So I just kind of backed off. You know, sometimes less is more. And, boy, I really had less last year.
And when we pick a player, let's say they get a home run, you get 4 points. A single, 1 point.
Yeah, but if they're mad 3 on, that's 7 points.
And then RBIs and the runs scored. So we accumulate all the points. At the end of the season, you go home with the gnome. And he's on my desk at home and just enjoying the view. Enjoying the view from the double wide. And
you edge out Chris Button, who is busy raising a family now. That's why we have Julie Alexandria with us this year.
We miss Chris Button.
Yeah, she was terrific. She got into it, didn't she? She would dig in when you tried to give her any negative guff. Huh?
She was a gamer.
Yeah,
she did her homework.
So what is the line, the pundits? What are the odds?
Well, I'm the clubhouse favorite, obviously. Oh yeah, I'm the team to beat.
And will you ever disclose why you are just?
I cannot divulge that.
Would it be that maybe you
can't talk about it, Dick?
Maybe because you go to the coaches before the game and you say, you know, this pitcher and this hitter, which one would you take? Little soft one hopper to the third baseman, and the inning. Was that a fly ball away? The way they reacted, it's the soft line drive, and Kratz is out, and so are the Padres, but they come up with 2 runs on 2 hits. The big blow, Rosales, the line drive to center that brought in Weeks for the tiebreaker, and then wild pitch fastball made it 3-1 for the Padres.
To 1, and hey, Sundays at Petco Park this year mean Kid Fest, supported by Hai Chu. It's fun for all kids of all ages. Experience inflatables, bounce houses, face painters, balloon artists, and other activities. Come for the family fun and stay for the game. Tickets available at Padres.com. I'm hoping to sneak out of the booth and join Kids Fest, make some balloons, and get my face painted.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Aren't you? 7th pitcher of the night for the Padres, Jose Dominguez, follows Ray Villanueva, Buckner, Smith, Helwig, and Guerrero, both retiring the side in the order. Impressive. In fact, Guerrero would get the win if the Padres hold on to the 3-1 lead. And here's the 25-year-old from the Dominican Republic.
Hey, big outing right here for Dominguez. A chance to get a save with a 2-run lead. Fastball, slider, changeup. Low 90s to mid 90s. Good fastball command. But the inconsistency of the breaking ball has been the one thing Dominguez really needs to work on.
With Tampa Bay for 4 games last year, his only major league experience. 5 2/3 innings, didn't allow a run. He's one of those minor league free agent signees. A.J. Preller, briefly with the Dodgers a couple of years. And actually was on the opening day roster for Los Angeles 2 years ago. Trying to find his way back to big league action here in 2016. First pitch right down the middle. Jorge Bonifacio leading off, and good to see the Hall of Famer from El Segundo, George Brett, there on the left.
Dale Swaim on the right. Man, I'd love to watch him hit back in the day.
Charlie Lau,
yeah.
Pupil. Oh, he could go the other way. He didn't have to pull everything, but he used the entire field, Brett.
And you know, what a great personality as well. Great interview. Good guy.
Foul back, 1-2, and his brother Ken Brett, the late Ken Brett, an outstanding pitcher, left-hander, and good hitter himself.
He could hit, yes. I remember George Brett got his 3,000th hit, and they got picked off first base.
Well, he'll go down.
Yeah.
Fame on that pine tar incident. I mean, there have been players and managers as taking strike 3 as Bonifacio for the first out, who have gone on a tirade and totally lost their cool. But the Brett reaction is, I think, is #1 all time for a player.
No question about it, and no question about this high breaking ball. Hey, it's a slider. Nice frame job by Austin Hedges.
Strike 1. Padres 2 outs away from a win, their first of the spring. Both teams came in after losses in their opening 2. And a soft fly ball back of first, angling over the second baseman Weeks, and makes the catch in foul territory. 2 away. And it'll be up to Jose Martinez for the Royals. We're out away from dropping their first 3 in the spring. Understandably, tonight, without the services of 4 or 5 of their star players. Martinez batting for the second time, grounded to short his other time.
Where'd that miss? I'm already in midseason form, Professor. I'm barking at the umpires already.
Really? Yeah, I thought you were going to ease back. You know, I heard somebody say last year, a couple of them, they're human.
They are people. They have feelings. I got to give them a break in spring training, I guess. It's spring training for everybody.
Line to center and unable to capture it, Jankowski, and Martinez keeps the Royals' hopes alive with a 2-out single.
Oh, good effort there by Travis. If that ball gets by him, it's all the way to the wall. That's why the corner outfielders have to be on their horse to back him up.
6th hit for Kansas City tonight. The Padres also with a half dozen.
Now this ball is rifled. Okay, Jankowski, the ball right at him. Sometimes for an outfielder, the toughest ball. Now he really starts to get it. Tries to get leather. Catchable ball. Yes, very catchable, but a great effort.
So Dusty Coleman is the hitter, right-handed batter. Grounded out his only time. And on to second base goes Martinez, the DI, defensive indifference. Ninth inning, 2 outs, and the Padres leading 3-1. Royals with a man at second. That'll be out of play.
Well, it's worth mentioning again, we'll be back with the Padre faithful on Sunday, right? 1 o'clock game, 12 o'clock in San Diego, right here on Fox Sports San Diego. The swinging A's, Oakland A's, come into Peoria.
That means we might see Yonder Alonso battling for the first base job for the green and gold. 2 strikes that count. And Coleman looks at it upstairs, 1-2. We hope you fans have taking advantage of some terrific events during the course of the season. Of course, the highlight, the All-Star game, but the Red Sox are going to be in. The Yankees in for 3. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over as Coleman caught looking. Dominguez locks up the win, and the Padres have a 3-1 victory over the Kansas City Royals. Our star of the game, a feature of every Padre contest. We'll announce that when we come back.